Stop it. You just feel like such a slug around
but
you.
As a kid, you know, the doctors had no idea if I would ever be able to walk. And then I started walking, and then I started swimming. And
how did you get into a pool? What age were you when you got into a pool?
My earliest memories, I do remember floating because my dad taught me how to float as a youngster in the bathtub. That's how we started. Because I have no arms, no legs. I'm quite lighter than the average 29-year-old. And so, you know.
How much do you weigh?
I now weigh, well, when I met my wife, she cooks really good. And so I put on about 10 pounds of happy weight, actually.
Right.
Now I'm at 81.
Wow.
So, yeah, just having that attitude of saying, you know what, okay, maybe I can't do this and that, but I'm going to focus on what I can do.
Okay, but you're making this sound awfully nice.
It's credit to my parents, though, because they never wanted me to feel sorry for myself.
Right.
So when they knew that I couldn't ride a bike, I got a skateboard. When I couldn't do what everybody else did, my dad pushed me to be smart in mathematics, so I was a year ahead in mathematics. And I loved chess, and I excelled in games like Monopoly, because I just like that stuff. So they were the reason why I had an attitude where, you know what, I can't do everything, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay, but let's go back here for a second.
But 8 years old is when I went to depression. That's where it happened.
Because you say your father taught you how to float.
Yep.
In the bathtub, but it was in the bathtub at 8, wasn't it?
Age 8, I thought of committing suicide, and at age 10, I tried to commit suicide.
And you thought about it in a bathtub?
No, I thought about it all day before I went home. Because of a whole day of bullying and being teased. Even though there were things that I could do and I wasn't depressed my whole childhood, there were some dark years because I didn't feel like there was a purpose to my life. And if I'm just living and existing with 3 burdens, number 1, being ridiculed by the world, number 2, being a burden to my parents, and number 3, not looking forward to anything good in my life, thinking, well, wait a second, I'm not going to get a job, I'm not going to get married, I'm not going to be able to hold my wife's hand or carry my kids when they're crying. It didn't seem like life was worth living. That's how it felt. And I thought the only way out of my pain was to end it. And so I tried to drown myself in 6 inches of water, and I turned over 3 times, and the 3rd time I rolled over, I thought of my mum and my dad and my brother crying at my grave and visualizing the pain I would leave behind if I actually went through with it.
And then at 10 or 13 you tried again? Or
Age 8 I thought about it, age 10 I tried. Okay. I was depressed up until basically age 12, 13. And from then on, I had some light bulbs go on in my mind and my heart about life.
Okay. Were your parents real religious?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, my dad, I'm a PK, right? I'm a pastor's kid. And so I would hear...
so your father's a pastor.
Yeah.
Then I'd say you're
pretty religious,
pretty
right?
religious,
right.
Yeah.
So being brought up in a Christian home where you see your dad preaching about how good God is and how much He loves you, yet His own son was born without limbs for no medical reason, it didn't make sense to me. And I was really actually angry at God because I blamed Him for my pain. You know, and I love those songs. You know, Jesus loves all the children of the world. And I thought, if He loved me like He loved everyone else, then why did He give me less? And if He is God who can do all things, then where are my arms and legs?
So where are they?
Well, I know for sure they're in heaven. That's for sure. I have a pair of shoes in my closet today just in case He says yes. I really do believe in the power of the supernatural, and I have seen 11 blind people seeing, deaf people hearing, lame people walking. In my travels of 44 countries, I've seen a lot of cool stuff. But today, I'm going around with the message of the hope that I found in understanding that it's not always about a circumstance changing, but it's about fulfilling the perfect plan that was destined for your life in the beginning of time.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
We watched as a family Butterfly Circus, which is tremendous, just tremendous. And it is a... how many people here have seen it, Butterfly Circus? Anybody? Go home and watch it. You can find it on YouTube. Go home and watch it. It's about 25 minutes.
22?
22 minutes. And it is story of a freak show. And the way circuses and the way things used to be back around the Great Depression. In fact, do we have the scene? Can we play the... Here is the scene where the guy who runs the Butterfly Circus finds Nick at the circus. Watch.
You are magnificent.
Hey, get away from him!
What's the matter with you? It's all right. No harm in it. My fault. Maybe I got a little too close. Hey, friend? You have a good evening now.
So he finds you in the circus where you are just being used as a freak.
Yep.
To entertain, and people are mocking and ridiculing you for entertainment. And he finds you, and you find your way into the back of his truck because you know who he is. He runs a different kind of circus,
right,
without a freak show.
Right.
And he teaches you, or he allows you to find who you really are.
Yeah.
The metaphor is quite divine. The message was very, very clear, even to my little kids, and very uplifting. Go home and watch it. We talked afterwards, and we wondered how anyone could ever complain around you, and how anyone around you could see their trials as anything other than easy and a gift. Because you believe what's happened to you is in a way a gift, right?
What the enemy tried to use for bad, God turned into good. And a lot of people have that perspective of what you just said. However, there is no hope in comparing each other's sufferings. I mean, I'm thinking of the 9-year-old kid whose mum and dad just divorced this year and who's going to have Christmas without mum and dad under the same roof. Brokenness is brokenness, pain is pain. And I think the fear of being alone is the worst disability anyone can ever experience. So what I do is I never say, hey, don't complain, hey, you're not going through anything. Far from that, but know that there is hope. And if you have your faith, friends and family around, you can see what beautiful things can come out of broken pieces if you give them a chance.
Back in just a second.